Wow. So you found them for me, thank you. Heading down to quarantine. Oh, you want to go that way? Okay, you do this. I should have come the other way. And we'll go round, we'll follow them. A beautiful sunrise as well. See you later. Now, I wonder who these boys are. Two big male lions coming down into camp. Got a slight limp in his back leg, back right. I was talking to you the other day, I was telling you how cats walk quietly. Now watch how he puts his... Let me stop. I can watch him walking away. Watch how he puts his foot down. His front foot. Goes down on the side and then it rolls flat. Let's make it over this bump. The brothers. I wonder which brothers these are. I don't know. This boy is quite a dark lion. Relax, dude. Very strong. Very strong smell of him. Oh, I think he's got a thorn in that foot. As he did something that I do sometimes when I got a thorn in my foot. Stand on a stone and at that spot where there's a thorn, and it kind of just pushes that thorn a little bit, touches a nerve. Looks like he did that now, stood on a thorn some time ago and it's still in his foot. And he just stood on a stone now, that must have just touched that spot where the thorn is. I'm guessing. It's just that's what I felt when I saw him wince. Beautiful light on him. And again. Ubezi. Ubezi, the Zulu name for a big male lion. Or Ngala. Shangan. Everybody knows Swahili. Simba. This boy is a little bit darker than his brother up ahead by the looks of things. Brother's looking back this way. Let's see if we can zoom in on him. Waiting for this one. Quite a blonde lion, the other one. It looks like, even looks perhaps a bit bigger. Hard to tell with them two, the two of them so far apart. I'm open to suggestions from any of the viewers who you might think they are. This boy is quite dark. He's got pretty dark markings on the back of his legs, but that might just be dirt. And that blonde line up ahead, quite a distinctive man. Actually looks like he might be marking territory. Yep, he's spray marking. Old boy, and scratching his feet, just sprayed against the bushes. They don't seem to be too concerned with the vehicle. He is watching Henry to his side, but he's not too concerned. They're approaching the lodge now. They're just passing the turn off into our camp and the staff village, where we emerge from onto this road. Pretty soon they're going to be heading straight down towards the dam and also spraying. See, they'll probably make their way between Yuri's house and the lodge. It's nice that Lion can read a sign, the no entry sign there on the left. Quite amazing. There must be a noise of staff. Staff village is less than 50 yards away. The staff of the lodge are waking up, getting ready for work today. Probably a lot of them are at work already. I hope the lodge knows. I'm sure Henry would have told them. Craig wants me to send them to FC because it's nice and warm in the office. Yeah, rub it in, Craig, rub it in. Look at the light on his face. He's listening to people now. He must have stopped and was listening to staff. Joel as well was behind us, bringing fuel into the reserve. I wonder if that's our fuel. Crossing onto quarantine now. The other brother. Cindy, morning to you. How many lion on the reserve? Gosh, I don't know, Cindy. A lot. I guess the difference between the lion, the numbers of lion in Kruger versus the numbers of lion here in the Sabi Sand. And it's never a steady figure because the lion are crossing between the two, as well as Manyaleti Game Reserve. Looking out onto the open area, probably looking for all those wildebeest and zebra that they were at. They must have chased earlier. That's why I heard the zebra. It was probably because those zebra saw these two. Oh, that other male is beautiful. That blonde male. A little bit lighter color. They're on the hunt, definitely on the lookout for something. Guinea fowl starting to complain. Surprised the baboons aren't shouting yet. Maybe they're not here. With a bit of luck, they're not here. Hello, Laura. Do lions ever get close to our camp? Well, this is next to our camp, Laura, but yes, we've had a couple of prides walk right through our camp, through the car park, past our parked vehicles, outside FC. What would it do if we saw one by our side? It's hard to tell. We've got to... It depends on what the lion's doing, Laura. It wouldn't just appear at your side, but one would have to react. Ah, there the baboon is starting to shout now. There the baboon are here. It's pretty hard to predict what one would do, because you have to react according to what the cat does. You're probably both going to get a fright. You're probably both going to go separate ways. We're now at the spot where the kahumas killed that wildebeest a few weeks ago. Let's get onto that little road and get... They're going to be heading towards those wildebeest. I see the impala up ahead. They're heading straight towards those wildebeest and zebra. Henry, there's a lot of wildebeest and zebra up ahead. So far, I'm looking at zebra still grazing. Can't hear any alarm calls from impala up ahead. Just that fence on the left side of the picture is the fence that surrounds the house of the owner of Djuma. His name is Yuri. Let's move up ahead. I can see wildebeest and zebra still grazing. A few of the impala have their heads up and are looking this way, but I don't think they've seen the lion yet. Now it's a matter of whether these cats are going to head down to the dam or carry on straight towards Yuri's sister's house, which is Inga's house. Whether they go down, there we go, that would be such a nice shot. The zebra in the background, they're watching. The most incredible light, just the most perfect time of the day to see something like this. Impala starting to alarm. The zebra haven't lifted their head though. Now they're lifting their heads, looking around a little bit. Seems to be lion are maybe going to ignore, or maybe they'll go into the bush and try and come out of the bush. My word, look at that. I want to have my camera out. And there they start moving. Zebra and wildebeest starting to run in the background. I'd love to know who these boys are. A lot of the impala and will actually approaching now. They are coming closer as they alarm, as they're shouting. Coming closer to be able to keep an eye on what these cats are up to. Straight down to the dam now. I've just lost my camera. What have I done with it? Very weird. Oh, there it is. It's lying down now on the roll. You can see where my camera was. They're going off into the bush. They might then do a turn back up to, sneak back up to the open area through the bush. But I think they're cutting through to Twin Dams Road now. Thank you, Jody. Jody's saying she doesn't think it's either Mapokos or Majingis. Well, it's definitely not Mapokos. They're too small, too young. They're not as old as the Mapokos. That was the zebra and wildebeest that are following. Everybody's sort of coming down this way. To keep an eye on his line. Now, how long are we going to be able to stay here? There are other vehicles that are already making their way here. Now, Annette was asking, is it usual to see two male lions together? Yes, it is, Annette. It is the nature, it is the behavior, or rather the life of male lions is... Oh, look at this. What's this? Rhino tracks going up to quarantine. Big rhino. During the night. Any of you at the dam or were watching the camera during the night, did you see the rhino? Hop along, Cassidy. Hop along, Cassidy. Thank you, Penny. About 1,800 lion in the park for Cindy, I think that was. Approaching the dam, so if anyone's operating the camera at the dam, you should be able to see these lion approaching for the dam cam. Henry, Iman, Galadi. Henry's also saying new lion, he doesn't know who they are. Maybe it's from those ones that we had. Maybe they're the two from those other four that... 6 of them in total. Geese are going crazy at the dam now. Evidently a new coalition of 6. To answer that question about males living together. Get anywhere from 1 to a dozen males. Depends on how big the pride is, and they don't necessarily have to be blood brothers, litter mates, but they will be pride brothers. And you normally find that within the pride of lion, you generally find that... Let's just go around this way a little bit. You generally find that the lionesses in a pride will come into estrus together so that they have cubs at the same time. And that's important because cubs of different, or 2 different age groups would have a problem especially at times when they're starting to feed on carcasses. other guys go across the dam in the meantime. I want to see if we can't get a shot from here through the steam and this light. This might be interesting. It's coming here. This is where the camera used to be, on this little tree stump here. These geese are going crazy. But we might get these. Oh, they're lying on the damn wall now. Oh, sorry, Jacana. I thought they would be crossing the dam. But they are lying actually in the shade. Lying together. I think our angle is all wrong. There. Should be able to see. I can see the dam cam. So where was I? Yes. So cubs generally have to be about the same age, within a few weeks of each other, to be successful, to have a greater chance of surviving. When they start feeding on the carcass, if there's too big an age gap between litters of cubs in the same pride, the older cubs will dominate, and the younger cubs will be pushed out on a kill, and they'll just be bullied. So nature makes it that lionesses come into estrus together, and what happens is a lot of, well, the males within the pride, all the young males, once they start reaching 3.5, 4 years old, they've got to leave home and go and seek out their own little niche. Oh, their eye is coming through the mist. There we go. Peggy asks, just to interject, they're walking with a purpose. Are they looking for females? I really don't know, Peggy. I don't think so. If they were looking for females, they'd be roaring. I don't think they're walking with that much of a purpose. They do have a particular direction that they're walking in. And also, they would hunt if they found anything. I think that's a little bit too much into the sun, but that's the effect that I wanted. There's the steam rising off of the dam. I think that's quite incredible. That is so surreal. It's just, we're looking directly into the sun, and we've got double sun because it's reflecting off of the water. So unfortunately, there is a bit of lens flare, but I just wanted that effect of the surreal light and the steam coming off of the water. We'll make our way across the dam now. What is up with these geese? Same thing, there was a report of a dark-maned Majingilane male with a limp on his back right leg. Well, possibly. I have to be honest, I can't tell. I'm only mostly seeing the back of these two, and even so, I don't know the Majingilane by sight. I haven't seen them often enough to be able to recognize any one of them by sight. Up Central Road now. Deborah wants to know how old lion are before they start hunting effectively. Well, since lion are social and they hunt as a team, as a pride, they hunt together. Youngsters, probably at about the age of 2, start participating in the hunt. But I don't think they'd be very successful if they were on their own at the age of 2. They still got to rely on the expertise and the experience of the older females within the pride. Brother's going to the toilet up the road. Hold your nose, hold your breath. Oh look, they're lion tracks. Fresh. The sand is still crumbling inside the tracks. Oh wait, maybe it has something to do with the lion in the road up ahead. Mark Yaga.
Morning, Mark. Armand from Arethusa. How are you?
Fine, and you, Arethusa Armand?
Well, thank you. Henry said you're currently unlocked with Majingilane Dark.
Affirmative.
Okay, Mark. I'd like to make my way to that lock, if possible.
Sure, where are you now?
I'm still on Eastern Channel here, 3 hours 10 on Little Gowrie. I'm going to head on to Gowrie Main, and then I'll give you a call from there.
Okay, copied. Paybacks are big, Armand. Somebody was asking, are the females more effective in hunting than the males? Sandy, sorry. It depends, Sandy. Not necessarily. In some instances where the males are needed, and it's the size and weight and strength of the males that help in bringing down large prey like with buffalo and giraffe. And in places where they do hunt the elephant. But I wonder who that is up ahead. Not letting me know. These people from other property talk on the radio. So I guess in some ways the females are more effective in that they have quite interesting and specific hunting methods depending on what it is that they're hunting and what the terrain is, what the conditions are like. Where each lioness has a particular function. When it comes to the male, it's just his size and his brute strength that he just comes barging in when he does participate in the hunt with the females. I'm going to try and stay with them as long as I can, because in fact, heading up Central Road by the time, well, they just keep in this direction. They could leave this property in the next 15-20 minutes. Oh, please don't bring. Oh, gee, it would have been just so nice watching them in the distance. Yaga?
Yeah, can I come and join you? I'm on Sierra line at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, man. The wood up with that? I wish that I didn't check from
They're smelling something. There's something. You see, now what he's doing is, it's called the phlegm and grimace. They're both doing it. They're passing scent over their Jacobson's organ at the back of the throat, and that is telling them a lot of information, and it's possibly because a lioness has perhaps been spraying there, and it could have been 2 weeks ago that a lioness was here, or even another lion, and that what looks like a snarl, what looks like an aggressive facial expression is actually opening up passageways to get the scent to pass over the Jacobson's organ. There's something very important message for these lions on that bush. Cindy, yes, it is common to see two male lions together. To answer your question. Male lion that grow up together in a pride, when they get to a particular age, will leave the pride together and stay as a group. And once they become adult, if they're still together, they form a coalition as a strong unit that will take over a territory. And the more males there are, the stronger the territory they can hold, and the more females they can mate with, and the more cohesive the pride will be. I wonder if there's something in this dense bush beyond him. Seems to be listening to something. Brother's coming up at the back. There's something in there that they're interested in, or he seems to be showing some interest in. Can't take decent photographs into the light like this, but I'm trying at least to maybe get an identification out of this photograph. Vivian, hello there. Are these lion marking territory to claim territory, or just from being here? I'd say just by being here they just spray marking. I don't think they would be. Oh, here you are. Hey old man. I'd say he's definitely got a thorn in his foot the way he's limping. Every now and then he stands on something and it causes him to limp. There's brother spraying now. Cutting through. I'll probably come out at Drakensberg. The problem with trying to ascertain what it is they're doing by spraying is it's going to take time to find out. It's nothing that I can answer really, because it's a drama that has to play itself out. If they stay here, if they happen to decide to establish this as their territory, then we could say in retrospect that yes, they are marking territory to take over. But at this stage of the game, I think they're just marking to advertise that they've been here. Now, if other males come through here, like Majingilans, if these are not Majingilans, unfortunately the Djumas won't be. But if other male lions come through here and they smell that, and these other male lions are territory owners, they would then roar and perform, and these guys would then get an idea of what they're up against, and then either be a fight and a territory takeover or not. Right. There's another bigger pan further up, they might lie down. Let's move up. In fact, we were trying to find Karuga here the other day, walking almost the same path. There's a reason why I'm staying with these lions, mainly because we don't get visits by male lions very often. We try and get to see lions as often as we can, but lions' territories are a lot larger than the area that we have to cover, and so it's a matter of luck, I suppose, in some ways, when we have lion coming through our area. And it's kind of, there he is spraying again. I wonder what would happen if I had to go and spray on top of that. Hello, Dr. AVK in Kazakhstan. Wonderful to hear from you. A part of the world we don't hear from too often. Much. Nice to hear from you. Have you ever thought about a lion jumping into the car? Yeah, it does cross my mind from time to time. But it's not likely. They haven't ever done it before, so it wouldn't really occur to them to do so. Anyone can copy me. These two Ngala headed south towards Mumba Road. between Bachelor and Mamba Road along the Pans. I should be coming out onto Mamba Road soon. Where you go again? Radio from. This had water in a few days ago. It's now dry. Lots of rhino tracks. Sniffing around again. They've picked up the scent of something. Okay, I'm stopping. Just looking back at me with a bit of a warning to say, we're busy. Stop. Something they're smelling there. Both of them very interested in the smell of something on the ground. Brothers in arms. And Fleming again. He's got some distinctive scars, this blonde lion. I noticed when he walked past us, right in front of us. Just now. He's got some quite distinctive scars on his face and his nose. F-L-E-H-M-E-N, Flemen. Hello, Shirley. Have I got a gun with me? No, Shirley, I don't believe in guns. I don't like guns. Guns are terrible things. I take my chances. The guides that are driving with guests are legally obliged to carry weapons of a caliber that is big enough. My beetle larva's got gonna start eating the Land Rover. Sorry, I got this sidetracked there. I just saw my matchbox. I didn't take it out yesterday with that beetle larva. Now, Shirley, as far as guns are concerned, we don't carry a gun because we don't have to protect any clients, guests, and we're not normally in a situation where we'd have to use it. Right, no, don't put your head down. I want to see your spot pattern. If anyone can copy me, he's in Gala now, Lalapanzi, just off Battalier Road. I need to be a little bit more forward, and I don't know how I will do that. But I can see those two spots. He's just heard something moving in the bushes. Let's see, we've got, today is what, 26th or something. Oh, he's quite scarred on his nose. What did you hear, Mr. Lion? You're going to catch something. There's something moving about in this bush. Brother's staying here with some interest, and he's now moving off with some definite interest. I can't hear anything, but they definitely can. He's got quite a nick in his left ear. That's an interesting feature. So there, got a nick in his left.
I have to change battery.
Okay, we've got to change the battery now. Yeah. Hunting time. I wonder if one brother's going to go and chase whatever it is towards this. Okay, let me move so we can see them. I'm moving behind bushes for the camera. Still have no eyes. I can see branches moving about 50 yards in. JJ wants to know how tall these boys are at the shoulder. Well over a meter, JJ. Don't know what it is up ahead, but there's something up ahead that moving trees, moving branches. There's a big tambuti tree on our right. This might be where the pan is. Might be where we come off from Leadwood Road. Doesn't sound like a monkey. Bushbuck. I can't hear the... Could be bushbuck. Sounds like one of the antelope barking. But that's so far ahead. I can't believe whatever it was that was alarming so far away could even see these two. Maybe there's something else much further up. Nyala barking. Patience of a cat, both of them standing dead still. Something not very far up ahead of them. I don't want to move too much, I don't want to disturb things too much. And now it's starting to sound like kudu in the distance. There's a francolin complaining. Hello, Raisa. Has anyone identified them as not being Majingilanes? Because they seem to look like Majingis to Raisa. I'm just thinking that the area that they're moving in right now, they're quite familiar with, by the looks of things, and I'm starting to think that maybe it is Majingis. There's a very distinct scar on the spot pattern on the left side of the face of the darker lion, and this other lion has got some pretty serious scars, even some from some recent fighting. Settle down now. Pardon? No, that's the...
Sniffing in there.
Yeah.
One of those with a cappuccino.
Very handsome lion. Trying to catch a whiff of those buffalo. The wind is picking up a bit. There's more of a steady breeze blowing now, coming in from the southeast. So at the moment, definitely in the lion's favour. And the batelier, there's a big batelier coming overhead, going to do it. Not even looking at the lion. That must have just come out of the nest. I know where we are. Well, I've always known where we are, but I think we are fairly far from Leadwood still. Not going to be easy to get through to Leadwood, I don't think. Right. We don't have that much time left. Let's go back closer to the lion so we can try and get some ID markings from them that I didn't get because they started getting interested in buffalo. Other brother just stood up, a blonde boy. Just stop for a minute, see what they're going to do. You can see the other buffalo now from this angle, just see his horns through the bush. Beyond those two that we were watching. That's an interesting shot, the two brothers. Okay, let me move again. Interesting question, Annette. Does it depend on how hungry they are, to how fast they go after their prey? Pretty much so, yes. Sometimes they can be so hungry that they can be a little bit too hasty. They didn't look very, very lean, and they also not full. So, well, they might also be patient. They might also know exactly what they're doing. They're waiting for a moment that they might also just hang around all day and only go for one of these buffalo tonight. They might sort of tail them, just keep track of them all day. And the sleepy cats lying in the sun. It's going to get hot. They're going to seek shade. So much for getting some ID markings. But judging by what they're doing now, heads on paws and almost dozing off, their ears will be listening. The ears will hear whether these buffalo get up and start moving around. And they're just biding their time, perhaps. Maybe waiting for darkness tonight.